So, Kevin, to begin, can you dig into, from a customer point of view, which of your tests, because you do quite a few in the overall test group, you've got load testing, you've got uptime, you've got global average speed, all of these different tests, which do you think is the most significant for a normal kind of WordPress customer, a WordPress user using a hosting service, and why that particular one you think is really important?
So the interesting part of that question is the normal user part of that question, because my tests tend to be focused around the power user or the bigger users, people who care the most about performance and scale. But the average user is probably going to be the most interested in the more of the reliability metrics. The uptime, for instance, is my site online? They're not doing a lot of very complicated things, but their website has to be online and there to receive visitors. So that's probably the most important to everybody.
And you've been doing these tests for a while, Kevin, and it escapes me exactly how long it is. How long have you been running these annual tests?
That's a good question. I think I started working on the first one in about 2013, and it published in early 2014.
Okay.
So that's, what, 8 or 9 years now at this point.
Yep. And as I've said to you on a previous call, Kevin, I think it's quite an achievement that you get through all that data coordination and collation and figuring it all out without losing your mind or committing suicide each year. That's quite an achievement.
I mean, I might lose my mind a few times. I just hide it very well.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
It seems like a monstrous job. Do you actually have help with that?
No.
Okay.
I run every single test myself. There's nobody who helps me set up or do any part of it, as much as I would love for that to happen. My biggest concern with it is it's really hard to outsource something that is so critical and that I need to know everything was done exactly correct. Mm-hmm. And sadly, it's not an automatable process, because setting up a hosting account for every company and setting up a WordPress website, once you get to the WordPress itself, that might be fairly standard, but the process to get to having that WordPress site to begin with is not standard at all between any of the companies. You might have a different installer at WPX from a dozen different competitors. It's going to be a different process, and I need to make sure that every site is set up identically. Mm-hmm. And I don't have anyone that I could trust with that responsibility, and it also would take away, I think, some of the value of participating in the benchmarks, because one of the things that I work on and work with the companies that participate is giving feedback about everything. So from the sign up, the user experience, and I find more issues and bugs probably than most people. It seems to be a knack to break things. Mm-hmm. But I also try and look at things, if it doesn't make sense to me, and I've probably used more WordPress companies than just about anybody on earth, then the average customer probably isn't going to get it either. Yep. So I try and tell companies that and help them make more sense. And so if I don't keep doing it myself, the value that I can add in that dimension diminishes.
Sure. Yeah, that's an impressive workload.